When he says at the end of the movie, "I'm poorly made," that's why it's so important to him that his rectangles have rounded edges, that the computer be able to say hello, that everything be friendly. And that's why if you get in between him and trying to do these things, he doesn't have any patience.
Been acting weird for months. She's turned on me.
Fix it.
What the?
Fix it, Steve.
Take it easy.
Fix it, or I quit. How about that? I quit and you never see me again. How about that?
Tell me what's wrong with you this morning.
What's been wrong with me for 19 years?
You wanted to make a movie about Steve Jobs, but how did you get to this place where you made such an interesting creative choice about these 3 moments?
Well, before I knew what I wanted to do, I knew what I didn't want to do, and that was a biopic. I wanted to do something else. I wasn't sure what yet, so I spent about a year, a little bit longer maybe, talking to people very close to Steve. Points of friction began to make themselves clear. And the idea came to me, what if I were to dramatize these very interesting, very fraught relationships? What if I were to make the entire movie just 3 scenes that would all take place in real time in the moments before a product launch? I understood that it was going to be different. I understood it was going to be probably not what people in the audience were expecting, but I also understood that to pull it off, you were going to need a visual genius at the helm, and that's where Danny came in.
So Danny, walk us, Aaron pitches you on this unconventional structure, and how did it hit you?
It was dazzling, as you'd expect with him. My job was I was going to have to make the actors king, because this stuff is amazing. But if they don't own it, like they've written it, it won't work. If they're just mouthpieces for Aaron, it won't really work. You've got to feel that they've got to kind of be. And so it was trying to devise a way that we could approach that, make it as cinematic as possible, but within this box, these constricted spaces that he was mentioning.
Do you find yourself, when you're making a film like this, sort of saying, all right, how do I do this for grown-ups in a world where sometimes these kind of movies don't get the receptivity that they might otherwise have gotten?
No, I genuinely try to make it as compelling as possible. And you want to attach yourself to something that for some reason you find compelling, and then you want to tell it in a complex and pleasurable way. And I have a thing of trying to make it as visceral as possible. And the other movies I've made tend to be more visually visceral, and this was verbally visceral. I don't know whether that's a terrible connection of oxymorons, I suppose, but it felt like it was like an action movie with words.
Steve has the line in the movie that artists lead and hacks ask for a show of hands. I've always believed that trying to figure out what it is the most people want and giving it to them was a bad recipe for storytelling. And I've tried to write what I like and then just keep my fingers crossed that enough other people like it that I can keep doing this. I don't want to offend anyone who is backing any particular political candidate right now, but I've noticed that Donald Trump talks nonstop about ratings. He's able to quantify his worth that way and repeats it nonstop. I'm very happy that that the value of this movie, like it or don't like it, is not measured that way.
The book, really, when you come down to it, it's a fantasy. It's Jack's fantasy of something that is a different reality than what's happening. And what we were looking to do with this movie was show what was actually going on.